Sky Squad, we are back in the building. Listen, y'all know I'm in the middle of this move, right? So we got family over tonight. But I was like, bruh, the news is popping. The news is popping. So I had to make my way up into one of the guest bedrooms and we got to discuss because this is some serious business that's going on right here. Okay. So let's get into the tea. Shout out to our friends over at the Bravo Shade Room for this bit of tea. Okay. All right. So if you guys like reality related content, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell button, and be sure to tap the like button. Just go ahead and hit that button down there. Don't make me get Norman on you. Okay. Norman be like Norman really like, you know what I'm saying? Like Norman be on his job this week, just this week, because he know I'm moving and stuff like that. So he be on it. So make sure y'all click that like button. All right, so let's get into the tea. So as you guys can see here, the headline reads: The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills alum Brandy Glanville is accusing Andy Cohen of the harassment and claims that he FaceTimed her drunk and invited her to watch him have the relations with a Bravo star. Let's get into it. Who y'all think the Bravo star is? Chime down in the chatterization. Who y'all think was going to be in this alleged three-way? Let's put the alleged badge up here because, again, everything is alleged. You alleged, I'm alleged, the sky is alleged. AT&T was definitely alleged today, according to some of y'all. Okay, but I digress, as I typically do. Listen, if you came here for hit it and quit it type videos, I ain't your guy. That ain't me. We have fun on this channel. I digress. I go off onto tangents. We got Norman in the background working some days he ain't. Most days he ain't, but he still be trying to collect a paycheck. Unless some of y'all tell her he running off with my payroll. Okay. But that's another story for another day. All right, so let's get into it. Let's get into the story, right? So this is courtesy of page 6 is what I'm understanding. All right. Now, the Neighborhood Talk actually posted this as well. And we got another story with the Neighborhood Talk. So don't go nowhere. Okay. Shout out to our friends over at the Neighborhood Talk and shout out to our friends over at the Bravo Shade Room. All right. So basically, apparently, like Brandy is claiming that Andy allegedly sent her a video of himself looking and acting like he was inebriated. Now, this is what her lawyer sent over to NBC. This is important because Brandy is already in litigation. Well, not really Brandy. She's not being specifically named in the lawsuit that Caroline Manzo is um, pretty much bringing down against the network, but she is at the center of the reason why it's happening, but we'll get into that in a second. According to documents obtained by page 6, Andy expressed to Brandy that he allegedly wanted to smash a Bravo star while imagining her. He also allegedly invited her to watch on FaceTime if his fantasy actually became a reality one day. So this is what is being said via the allegations in the documents. It says Mr. Cohen was Mrs. Glanville's boss at the time and exercised complete and total control over her career, the letter further states. Now, this is important, guys, because basically what they're trying to assert here, I'm assuming, is the power dynamic in the relationship. Now, you guys know that when you watch What Happens Live, there are typically jokes that sometimes border into they can be sometimes a little cringe and sometimes they can be a little bit, they're definitely can be of an intimate nature, I should say, right? Um, I think it's just become a standard for the show. I think if you go on that show, you kind of pretty much understand what the mechanics of the show will be, and that there may be some, slightly inappropriate jokes or whatever. I would have to assume that the guests pretty much know this going in, right? Um, and most guests seem to take it all in fun. However, however you choose to take it is your business, right? That's all I can say. Now, moving forward, it says this was an extremely again, here we go. This was an extraordinary abuse of power that left Miss Glanville feeling trapped and disgusted. It is inconceivable that Mr. Cohen remains in his post in spite of of this behavior and harkens back to the bad old days of Matt Lauer and NBC News when profits were prioritized over people. Now, again, this is all super important, especially noting the timing, right? So the timing is coinciding with this lawsuit that Carolyn Manzo has levied against the network because of Brandy's alleged inappropriate behavior towards her, for which Brandy is vehemently denying, and or she is suggesting that there is some coercion, or I should say maybe alleged coercion by production to get the ladies to act frisky for the sake of creating moments on camera. That is essentially what seems to be happening, right? So to now note that there is now an instance where Brandy herself feels as though she has been put in an awkward situation. She is now following suit with her own accusations. All right. And so the article goes on to state that this news comes months after Brandy was accused of assault from a Bravo star who has since decided to sue the network for the alleged ordeal, as we just talked about. Again, the former Real Housewives of New Jersey cast member Caroline Manzos claimed in the legal complaint that Brandy sat her down on the couch and forcibly squeezed her booty cheeks together, thrusted her tongue in Manzo's mouth, and humped her while filming, amongst other allegations. It's that thrusted her tongue in the mouth for me, okay? Can you imagine somebody just just thrusting their tongue in your mouth unrequited? So that is basically what's happening right now. Now, this is huge because for her to suggest that he is similar or equate this situation to Matt Lauer, well, we see what happened with him as a result of the accusations that were pretty much, listen, Matt Lauer don't even work there no more. Okay. So let's just look at it like that. And if you notice the language, they say it's inconceivable that he remains in his post in spite of this behavior. Basically, what it appears to me is that Brandy is like, I can't work. You shouldn't be working either. Okay. That's what I'm getting. You guys let me know whether you think she is right or wrong. Okay. Now, to update you on what's happening in the situation, Andy has issued an apology to Brandy. I'm assuming this is a tweet, and he says the video shows Kate Chastain and I very clearly joking to Brandy. It was absolutely meant in jest. And Brandy's response clearly communicated that she was in on the joke. That said, it was totally inappropriate and I apologize. So, if there is video of this, obviously we can't play it on here, but again, that's why I prefaced at the beginning of this video that typically what you see on Watch What Happens Live can border on the cringe and border on what may be considered inappropriate for some people. For some people, it could be considered joking. It is a late night show. Let me know what you guys think. Are you on Team Brandy on this one, or are you on Team Andy on this one? I would assume that since we probably won't see the likes of that Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip that was referenced, um, Brandy and apparently other cast members who are on Brandy's side want them to air it. Excuse me. But it would seem as though because it is the subject of litigation, that it may never see the light of day. There is word that there will be another Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip, I am hearing some rumors. We'll talk about that in another video. But I just felt like this video demanded a deep dive. It demanded us to really get into the nuances of what happens on Watch What Happens Live and the jokes that follow or the jokes therein. You know what I'm saying? And again, it's one of those situations where some could argue that you kind of know what you're walking into when you walk into that situation. Some could also argue that Brandy typically, finds herself or either seems to initiate um, overtly sexual advances that could be perceived as joking or could be perceived as inappropriate herself. But at the end of the day, I can't we it's hard to judge how somebody else receives it when it's done to them. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. And then just to sort of lighten the mood, right? Just to sort of lighten the mood. By the way, this lighting is horrible, okay? Horrible, right? But we making it do what it do, right? So y'all just gotta bear with me on this until I get my situation set up. I ain't even got my studio set up yet, man. It's crazy. So remember we talked about earlier, we talked about Phaedra's dress, right? So Phaedra at the Real Housewives, not the Real Housewives, Lord have mercy. Is that a sign that Phaedra should be back on Real Housewives? We'll talk more about Real Housewives of Atlanta tomorrow. But for right now, we're going to talk about Married to Medicine and Phaedra. All right. So clearly, Chanel Ayan and Phaedra had a moment during the BravoCon panel wherein it was a question that was basically asked about who had the worst fashion sense at BravoCon. And so Chanel had to pick somebody there. She picked Phaedra at the time and basically said that she looked like she was going to a quinceanera or something to that effect. Phaedra clapped back at her and it became a little bit of an iconic moment, right? Speaking of which, where is Dubai, right? Like, when are we getting Real Housewives of Dubai back? It's been almost 2 years at this point. And to me, that show was good. I mean, I like the women on there and I'm interested in seeing what's going on. I mean, I felt like they was giving real money, real clean. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, I digress. Let's talk about Ayan. Okay. So clearly, this dress is something that Ayan has already worn. Okay. Now you all know that Chanel Ayan is essentially a fashion model, supermodel, if you will. All right. She's got the look, definitely got the style. She's got the smize. She knows what to do. She's got the fun, effervescent personality. Interesting that she went after Phaedra at that moment. But, I think if you're going to go for somebody, you might as well go for the big dog. So, anyway, Chanel said this. Wow, looks very quinceanera, a callback to her moment from Watch What Happens Live. She says that I love that you were inspired. They say imitation is the highest form of flattery. You look fabulous. Hashtag Real Housewives of Dubai, hashtag Married to Medicine, hashtag Real Housewives of Atlanta. So you know by now what the name of the game is. When there's a moment like this, take it to social media and make it blow up and get some attention for that Real Housewives of Dubai. I'm not mad at it, Chanel. However, you got to come correct when you come in for the Faye Faye, okay? Because Faye Faye is like, who is they? Okay. Because Chanel said they say imitation is the highest form of flattery. Because then Phaedra says, because they definitely did not say that is how you spell imitation in Webster's. LOL. Moi. Kissy noise, kissy face, kissy lips, no bars. It's the no bars for me. It is the no bars for me. Okay. Um, I thought that we would add in this story for a little bit of levity after the story that we just now talked about. And because we talked about the Married to Medicine reunion earlier, there was also a little bit of discussion earlier about who exactly Dr. Heavenly was referring to as Baps. I, for some reason, thought it was Toya because of the updo and the sort of style of dress that Toya had. I knew what it was. I thought about it later. Toya, to me, I feel like if Toya were going to Fashion Week, then that dress would have been it, because it structurally is giving like a little bit of avant. You know what I'm saying? Um, but a lot of you guys thought that Dr. Heavenly was referring to Quad as Baps because of the blonde hair and the light colored dress. Let me know. I need to figure that out. Maybe we need to get Dr. Heavenly on the line so we can figure out who exactly she was talking about was Baps, right? Anyway, I just felt like I would continue that conversation because it's fun. All right. Listen, y'all, we'll be back with you guys tomorrow for more tea, more mess, more shenanigans, and more fun. Y'all know it ain't that serious over here unless it is. With that being said, I will catch you guys in the next video.